Hi, this is Ginger Bell. Welcome to the next series of Flatten the Curve, Not the Spirit. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. And this day, we have over 54,000 cases that are reported in the United States and over 780 deaths. And so it's important to stay home, stay safe. And the reason we started this video series is to share with you insight and information from people who make a positive impact on our industry and those who are involved. And so today we have a special guest. It is Mr. Steve Sims, who wrote the book Blue Fishing. And I had a wonderful time sitting down with him and enjoy this interview. Also, make sure to subscribe and like. And I put a link down below because Steve is having a special virtual happy hour this Friday for those who are in his Entrepreneurs Advantage group. So if you're not in there, join it. And remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and wash your hands. Hi, there's Ginger Bell, and I am here with Flatten the Curve, Not the Spirit. And today I have a very special guest that I'm excited to have on, Mr. Steve Sims. So, Steve, thank you so much for hopping on our virtual call here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So, last week I got back from Atlanta. I was there getting actually an esports team from Latin America housed, and thank God we got him there. And I tell you, it was a lot of fun being able to do all of that, but made it home. So I'm a little over a week into being at home, and I decided, you know what, let's just get some positive messages going out there. And there's no one that's more positive, especially about communication, than you. And two times I've read this book now, and I think I'll probably go into a third time on it because there's so much great information in here. So first and foremost, I want to ask you, what are you doing to make sure you're in the right mindset as far as everything we're going through right now?
Reacting. And that's funny because a lot of people think reaction is a defense mechanism and is where you stick your head in the sand and you cry. At the moment, we've had, and I'm really happy about today. I'm really, really happy. And this sounds silly, and I need to be careful so that someone doesn't grab one of these sound bites and turn it into something horrific. But I think the coronavirus is going to do us an immense amount of good because it's taken away from us the ability to communicate. Right. And it's given us this tagline of social distancing. Now, the truth of the fact is we started social distancing 15 years ago with the invention of Friendster and MySpace.
Right.
And we have become really good at socially distancing with ourselves to the point that if you try and strike up a conversation with someone in the coffee shop, they look at you like you're a psychopath.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, we've been told we can't be near each other. We have to stay away from each other. And it's hurting us. And now we're seeing villages sing to each other from balconies. We're seeing people. I walked around the corner the other day. I was walking my dog, and I heard yelling going on. And there were neighbors that were actually on either side of the road because, truthfully, they want to keep the social distancing, but having a conversation. And we joined in the conversation. And I said to this neighbor, and again, I'm about 10 feet away from him. I said, you've met these people, did they just move in? He went, they've been our neighbor for 20 years. And this is the longest conversation we've ever had with them.
Yeah.
And people only miss things when they've gone. Right. And our ability to communicate was removed from us about a week and a half ago. And we're missing it. Gladly, thankfully, we're missing it. I'm just praying that when the lights get turned back on and we can go down to the pubs and the bars and the restaurants and the shops and stuff like that, we realize what we missed and we start having those coffee shop conversations. So absolutely. I'm reacting by doing more communicating. And as I said before we came on, I'm busier now than I was last month and the month before.
Yeah. And that's it. But that has to go with the pivot too. And, part of the positive reaction to that mindset, because you can have the negative reaction and do the Chicken Little, the sky is falling, or you can have the positive reaction and find out, I always say if there's a big pile of something, look for the pony. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, because something had to make it. It's like, so
Yeah.
where's the pony at, and shifting.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Chicken Little. I like that. But no, you're right. You've got to look, there's always going to be two kinds of mentalities out there. There's always going to be two types of people, you know, people that look for the down, people that look for the up. And as I've always said, the richest guy on a rainy day is the guy selling the umbrellas and the ponchos.
Right.
So it's raining and we've got umbrellas and ponchos to sell. And what we also know, and this is what I think people are having a lot of problems with, they don't like confusion. People don't like the unknown.
Right.
I'm the kind of guy that kind of likes that, because I like to go, oh, where are we? What are we going to do?
Right.
And I've spent most of my life going down roads that I shouldn't be, knocking on doors that I shouldn't be. And I've done that millions of times. That I like that. I actually like finding that.
Yeah.
So we're in a moment of unknown. You have no idea what's going to happen next week, tomorrow. But if you ask anybody, even the most neggy Norvas of your neighbors, if you say to them, hey, will this still be where we are in 2021? Even they're going to turn around and go, no, it'll all be sorted by then.
Right.
So if you know that it's not going to take that long, why aren't you learning French? Why aren't you learning the guitar? Why aren't you refining your skill set so you can come out of the gate in fifth gear?
Yep.
Refine. For argument's sake, and we've met, you know, for anyone that hasn't met me and is only seeing my head here, I'm 240 pounds of ugly. I could easily do with losing 10 pounds. So when this all started, I had bought a Peloton. I'm on that Peloton every single day, 45 minutes a day, and I'm losing weight.
Yeah, I can see it.
Thank you very much. My downside is that I'm going to come out of this fitter, finer, refined, sharper, and therefore more productive than when we came into Corona. Why would you not do that? But the daft thing is, people are going to wait until they see a headline on CNN saying, you know, vaccine detected, or the virus is slowing down, or we're opening up the borders again. They're going to wait for that, for them to kind of like strap on their boots and go, right, let's get going. And by that time, you're too late. When you start warming up the engine and I'm already in third gear, you ain't going to see me.
Right. Well, and that's it. You know, it's like, you have to look at it as a self-imposed opportunity to sharpen the axe. And so, you know, what are you going to do? You know, what skills do you need to develop? What are the things that you've always wanted to do that you never had the time to do? And so focus on that, because we are going to come out of this. And it's a matter of looking back and say, did you take this time and use it wisely? Because we're probably, hopefully, never going to have an opportunity like this again, where we are all at home and have an opportunity to grow and to be able to expand our networks, just like what we're doing. I know you're doing a virtual happy hour on Friday.
I am. With
your group. So tell me about that, what you're doing there and how that came about.
It's very deep.
Let's get together and drink.
Let's get together and drink. I decided, and I'm loving the way that you're talking about the opportunity. You know, you're so right. If we could just focus on that for a second, and let's focus on the mortgage industry.
Right.
Because let's be blunt, I came into your world about 2 years ago.
Right.
And you guys are making hay while the sun shines. Mm-hmm. And brilliant. But the downside about that, and I know we're all looking at the opportunities, but let's look at the downside of the years that you've had. They've put you on a speeding bullet of a train. Mm-hmm. And you haven't been able to have the time to just relax and go, oh, well, how is my messaging? How is my social? How is my website? How is it? You've still got pictures up there from 10 years ago. You know, you haven't had the chance to pay attention to those things to get them current.
Right.
You are now being provided with an almightily beautiful opportunity to get current, get present. Right. And so that is a great, so I'm loving the fact that you're using it and telling people it's an opportunity. It absolutely is. With me, I'm using the chance to communicate in any way I can, like we are through Zoom, Skype, all of these other virtual terminals that we can to communicate with each other. And one of the things I like to do is I like to hang out with people that I like.
Right.
Okay. I don't have much of a tolerance for a-holes, but I love hanging out with people. I also, and this is a stretch, bit partial to a whiskey cocktail every now and then. So
I'm with you on that.
there you go, girl. So I thought to myself the other day, I thought, why don't we just have a happy hour? So I literally just on an Entrepreneur's Advantage, I said, hey, who would like to have a whiskey with me on Friday night? And I'll show you how to make one of them. And there was just like, yeah, we're in for. So this Friday at 5 p.m., I'm going to be sending out a Zoom link. There's no pitching, selling, or promotion. All right. That is banned from the conversation.
Right.
Inappropriate jokes, dirty limericks, poems, all of that is more than acceptable.
Nice.
Mild nudity, probably not. So let's move that one out there. But, for any of the boys that want to wear a drag or a bikini, hey, if it works for you, go for it. But we're going to start it at 5 p.m. Pacific with me showing you how an old fashioned should be made. There'll be no muddled oranges or, maraschino cherries or any of that nastiness. It'll be how it should be made. And then we're just going to hang for an hour and we're going to chat and drink. And if people like it, we'll do it again. So I'm going to be sending out a Zoom link to everyone and everyone can share it. As I say, no selling, promotion, products, there's none of that to be allowed. We're just going to be hanging. So 5 p.m. this Friday, an old-fashioned happy hour with me.
Perfect. Well, and we'll make sure and drop this video before Friday. So those of us that are in Entrepreneur's Advantage, then we'll be able to hop on there. And then, really it's that's what it is looking for those opportunities to connect. So even though, we're socially distancing, doesn't mean we need to social distance from those that we can build relationships with. And what that looks like, our friend Bill Hart put a video out the other day that said it's not isolate, it's we-solate. And that's really what this has done, is given us an opportunity to connect with those that we haven't, had that time, and we haven't taken that time to be able to do that.
Well, let's labor on that word for a second there, time.
Right.
Because we're not actually traveling to the office, because let's be blunt, a lot of us aren't even doing our hair during the day. I know that's not a problem, but we're saving so much time in the day.
Mm-hmm.
For some of us, we're grabbing an extra 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Well, don't save that for binging Netflix. Populate it with stuff that's going to progress you. And
Right.
Bill Hart's he's a brilliant guy. We all love, there, go virtual cuddle to our boy Bill. But Bill's got it absolutely right. You should be getting up in the morning and you should be doing this obscene, vulgar thing called phone someone.
Right.
You literally just jump on the call. I literally will just phone up Bill, or I'll phone up Dave Savage, or I'll phone up Todd Bookspan, or I'll phone up any of these boys and go, hello, how are you doing? And they'll be like, hey, what's going on? I thought, just thought I'd call you. What did you work on this morning? And I'm phoning people. I'm doing FaceTiming. And I am speaking to more people now than, again, I was last month. We badly want it. We're human beings. We're not advanced technology. We are, in fact, the slowest evolving technology in the planet. Phone gets upgraded every year. We don't, you know?
Yeah.
So we are actually depreciating and actually eroding throughout our lives. You wouldn't keep anything if it carried a warranty of a human being, because we fail, because we're human beings. But the need to connect, the need to relate, the need to communicate can never be stronger than it is today in the desperate world that we're in today.
Right.
So give into it and do it. Phone someone, actually reach out.
Yeah. And that communication goes in so many different areas as far as not just business, because I think a lot of people are struggling. What do I say? And for our loan originators and rates have dropped. We're busy. Things are getting a little muddled up as far as, how to figure out how we're going to verify income and get title and things like that. And we'll get through all of that. but they're struggling as far as, what do I tell people? What are the conversations? And so, taking the time to sit down and go through that process of, what are your answers? What are the questions that you're getting asked? And slow down and write down what those answers are. And instead of being reactive, being proactive, just like you're, calling people and saying, hey, what's going on? Same thing for originators. Be proactive and call people, even if it's nothing more than just, hey, I'm just calling to see how you're doing. I was talking to a real estate agent in Savannah, Georgia yesterday. She had just gotten a listing on Friday. And so she was going through the process of, how are we going to show this house? Because nobody really wants to go to the house, but they still need to see the house. And so, offering ideas as far as doing that, maybe doing a virtual tour, or bringing a videographer, hey, I've got, I have a video. Guess what? I have a phone. Guess what? It takes videos. I mean, it doesn't have to be super fancy. It doesn't have to be super complicated, but just a matter of thinking of those things, but having the conversations.
No, you're right. And you can also, if you want to do a little hack, a little cheat, shall we say,
right,
to maximize your time even further, then video yourself. You've just picked up one of the greatest pieces of machinery that we've had for years, my phone, and I can live, and I travel around the planet. And when I do, I don't take a laptop, I take my phone and I take a charger. Yeah. And the beautiful thing is mine broke in Japan a few years ago. I was able to go to an Apple store, buy another iPhone, and then you sync it and everything populates back on it again because everything's in the cloud. Yeah. So,
and you recorded your podcast too when you were in Japan, because I know one of your podcast episodes I listened to.
That's right.
You're taking Claire and you're talking about the restaurant, and you were recording your podcast there. So, even if it's not video, but look at other means. Podcasts are great. It's audio. You don't even have to get onto anything. So, look at those kind of ways to be able to kind of get outside the box.
And do a little video of yourself saying, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm here. And do you know the funny thing that you were saying there? You were saying about people don't know what to say. Okay? Say that. I know it sounds silly, but if you just grab a video going, hey, I don't know what I can say that's going to make this moment any more comfortable. We are in an uncomfortable world, but I just want to let you know that I'm here should you have any questions. And as I have answers, I'm going to be reaching out to you, but I'm just letting you know I'm here.
Right.
Do that on a video and send it to 20 people. Right. And send it to them via text. So it pops up on their video text. Right. And it sees their face. People know you're there. There's many different ways of doing it, but still, people are using excuses not to do it. And that's a shame.
Well, and the fact too, and you run into this, I run into this, people are like, I don't like how I look on video. It's like, that's how you look.
Yeah, please. Have you seen me? You don't want me turning up on your phone. No, everybody's got self-doubt. I had self-doubt. You do sit there and you just go, what should I do? Should I do and then in the end you go, no, this is me. I'm going to show up 100%. If you like it, great. And the funny thing is, you're sitting there having those doubts going, oh, I don't know how I look on video. I probably look a little bit goofy. Yeah. I did a video with someone a little while ago, and they had the camera on the wrong way. And they're talking to me, and I'm seeing their garden. And I'm like, hello, you got the camera on the wrong way. They had turned it around the wrong, and they couldn't work out. We're all the same. Yeah. We all make those mistakes.
Yeah, and it's okay.
So it is more than okay. It's showing your vulnerability. It's showing you as a real person. So warts and all, just show up.
Right. And I love that. That's so important. One of the things in your book, you talk about some of the wisdom you received from your father, who was a bricklayer. But one of my favorite things that you talk about that you learned from him was nobody drowns from falling in the water. They drown from staying in. And so, it's kind of where we are right now. And what we're talking about is that, we're okay. And obviously our hearts and our thoughts and everything go out to those who are afflicted with it, who are suffering. And that's why we're doing all of this, our social responsibility. But also to look at in your mindset for those of you who are in this, and especially like our business owners, our business owners, they have, the responsibilities, they're leading their teams. And so making sure that they're not in that mindset that they truly are staying in there for too long to where they do drown. So how does a business owner make sure that they're managing that as far as their mindset?
Well, again, because we were moving at 200 mile an hour, our vision was forward. We very rarely looked left and right to even check out the scenery. We were moving at that faster pace. This is now a chance where we can look down at our feet. We can actually look down. Now, I had a friend of mine actually helped me with this about 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about cleaning house. And if it doesn't aid, assist, grow, or make him smile, then it should leave the house. Now, you should also look at that on your business.
Right.
Do you have a marketing funnel that just doesn't work? Do you have a CRM that you've never used? I actually went through my credit card statements about 5 days ago, and I've got loads of like $15 and $7.99. I'm like, well, what are these for? And a couple of them were for magazines that I forgot I'd even subscribed to.
Right.
And they're digital magazines. Great. I like motorcycles. I can go back and binge those. But some of these other programs, I don't need those anymore. So get rid of those. Clean house and ask yourself quite simply, if it doesn't assist, aid, or grow your business, why is it there? You've also got to ask yourself that about the people that you're retaining.
Right.
Now, I had a client of mine that I had to coach through about letting some people go. And I screamed at him because realistically, he should have let them people go 4 years ago. They've just been, they've been with me forever. Stupidest excuse in the planet, okay? And I said to him, if you're having dinner with your wife, he's got a beautiful wife, and I know his wife. And I said, if you're having dinner with your wife, and someone walks up to your wife and takes the food out of her mouth and walks off eating it, what are you going to do?
Right.
He's like, well, I'd rip that person's head off. I said, absolutely. But that's what these people are doing. People that work for you are there to put food on their table. And because they work for you, help put food on yours.
Right.
Those that are actually pulling it away shouldn't be in your world.
Right.
Clean house, get them out. And he did it. And he came back and he said, yeah, it was so refreshing. One of them yelled at him. Now they're venting because, again, it's tough times.
Right.
But nobody out there is surprised that they're going to get that phone call.
Right.
Nobody is surprised that they're hearing what's going on. We're all watching the same news each night about the unemployment figures going through the roof. You should look at your feet. You should look at your house. You should look at your world and go, okay, what doesn't help me needs to be gone.
Right.
And as a business owner, again, as you were saying right at the beginning, this is one of the only opportunities you're going to get to do this, because when that bell rings and those gates open and the horse bolts,
yep,
you ain't going to be looking behind you. You're going to be looking, oh, crap. And you're going to be out there. You're going to be phoning all your clients. You're going to be showing houses. You're going to be putting up banners. You're going to be putting up advertising. You're going to be doing all the things that, again, will saturate you and blinker you back to your business. And you're going to forget about the quiet time.
Right.
And this time now, my friends, is where you actually dig for your gold. This is where you polish yourself. This is where you get rid of all of those things that don't work, that don't help. Now is an incredibly beautiful, valuable time, and you should use it. You should almost pray. And again, this is going to be a stupid statement, that every 5 years we get a mini coronavirus for a month and it locks us down. How many people are actually in a house now with people that they wish they weren't?
Yeah.
You know, I'm with my wife and I've been with her for 30 plus years and we work from home. And she said to me, she said the other day, she said, I'm glad I like you. She said, because how many people that actually work in different offices are now in front of each other,
right,
with the kids, me and her, we can giggle and laugh and play cards.
Yeah.
But she actually said, I'm glad she likes me. But it is a very strange period of time, but it is a beautiful one if your head's on straight.
Absolutely. And keeping your head on straight is very important. And so we're going to close this out, but if you are looking for a great read for this weekend, I truly recommend, and you can get it on Amazon. It's available, and you actually have this on an audio. I haven't listened to it, but it's on an audiobook where you actually are the one that's reading the book.
Did I tell you the story about that?
No, you haven't. I haven't heard that.
May I quickly tell you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to.
So Simon Schuster were the publishers that did the book, and they sent it worldwide. In fact, it's done very well worldwide. And they got asked for to purchase the rights to do the audiobook. And they said, do you want to do an audiobook? And I was like, oh, that's great. Yes, because let's be honest, I get revenues and renewals from that, from the book.
Right.
So what I didn't know was that they weren't asking me to read the book.
Oh.
So what they did was about a month later, they sent me these 3 sound bites of a different American person doing a British accent reading my book. It was appalling. And here's the true story, and I apologize for the visual of this, but here's the true story. My agent contacted me with these 3 sound bites, and I've got an old English bulldog. So I responded to my agent saying that I've listened to all of these 3, and I can tell you, hand on heart, that my bulldog's left testicle could do a better British accent than any 3 of these. And I sent it to him, as a bit of a moan and a bit of a complaint. Him, in all of his genius, without filtering it, just forwarded that straight over to Simon Schuster, who contacted me and CC'd him and said, if your bulldog's left testicle's not available, would you be willing to audition? And so I had to audition for my own book, and shock, horror, surprise, I got the part.
Well, I'm glad you did, and very well worth it indeed. So, and I think you're working on a second book. Is that right?
I am. I'm working on a second book. It's on pause now because I'm focusing on the Sims Distillery and a few other things. But yeah, we'll probably have a new book out the early part of next year, but we're working on that now. I'm very stunned that I did one book, and I'm stunned that so many intelligent, powerful, influential people like you and Bill Hart and Dave Savage even read this book and ran with it and told other people about it. So I'm stunned at the reaction the first one got. And so 100% I'm behind getting a second one out.
Well, perfect. And I can tell you, we are truly blessed in the mortgage industry that you have stepped into our lives. And we truly have welcomed you as one of our own. And
you guys
I look forward to seeing you. The last time I saw you, we had both of our boys with us.
We did.
And we were at Hamburger Mary's.
Hollywood, and yeah, that's right.
So maybe that's one of the things for the virtual happy hour. We can do drag queen bingo or something like that. And
I'll put on my best wig.
Get your boa out and everything like that. So we'll have to look at doing that. But Steve, thank you so much for joining me. And for anyone who would like more information, can you tell them where they can go?
Oh, I'm easy to find. Steve D. Sims. There's only one M in Sims and D for dog or dashing, whatever you want to call, but stevedsims.com. But you can find me at An Entrepreneur's Advantage with Steve Sims on Facebook. And I'm on Instagram and YouTube and everything. If you DM me and mention your name, then I'll be sure to respond.
Well, very good. Thank you so much. And you have been tuning in to an episode of Flatten the Curve, Not the Spirit. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on another episode.